Vivian Joy here on Future Focus Friday. Oh, I just love it. I love the future. Do you know what? There are times when the future is freaking exciting, and there are times when you're like, ooh, it can be a bit, ooh, what's going to happen? How am I going to do that? How am I going to get through that? I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, today I want to talk about your ideal client and being in front of them. So we've been talking about visibility and a variety of other things. If you haven't caught the other episodes, go onto the website. They're all there stored so that you can follow the sequences. But actually, somebody messaged me and said, Vivian, you don't have to make this look easy. There's my London. I'm from London. You don't have to make this look easy, which is a massive compliment. Thank you. I am a trained speaker, and of course I've been doing this a very long time. Please don't judge yourself by anyone else. You don't know the story, you don't know what they've put into it, you don't know what they're thinking or feeling. In fact, actually, I've got a friend who is sick before she goes on stage every time. So like, she's proper nervous. You wouldn't know it, because by the time she gets on the stage, she's been through her ritual of being sick. And in fact, I remember somebody telling me that there was a singer who wets herself before she literally she can't hold her bladder. So all sorts of things are going on with people. But anyway, not for me, by the way. None of those things are going on. The reason that I can sit in front of this camera and record these things is because I imagine I'm sitting talking to somebody. I imagine I'm sitting talking to 3 people. This is how my brain does this. Because somebody said, can you explain how I can do that? And actually the person that asked me is an NLP trainer as well, so which is beautiful, very big compliment. And she said, I want to model it. Now, if you don't know what NLP modeling is, I run this on my She Coaches program. It's one of the 24 modules that we cover in the 6-month program, and we practice it and do all that we're going to do. So modeling is a big deal. Modeling is understanding how somebody does something and coding it and doing it yourself. So, for example, I often get people code confidence for me. I've actually had somebody tell me you can't possibly be that confident. It's a front, which is hilarious. I was like, okay, whatever your belief system is. But actually, there is something that you can do to make sure you have it for yourself. And there's a lot of state work goes on in that. I do a lot of this work in my mastermind, making sure you maintain your state and how you create a state. And you've probably heard those things, especially if you've done any work with some of the bigger players in the world, like Brendan Burchard and Tony Robbins and whoever you follow. Anyway, to be able to do this, to be able to be here, I pretend I've got 3 of my clients here, and I'm just having a conversation and telling them this stuff. That's how I do it. So if you want to know the trick, I tell you why. The reason this is important, I used to run networking, and I've run a lot of it. I've been to networking, and if you do, you watch it. You watch everybody else terrified and nervous, and there'll be one that seems to have their shit together and they're amazing. You're like, oh my God, I've got to follow them. And in the meantime, you're sitting there going, oh my God, what was I going to say? Actually, I think it's easier online because you can have it typed out and you can read it. Not as impactful if you ask me, but anyway. But yeah, most of us are not listening to what anyone else is saying. We're too busy thinking about what we're going to say. It's the same at a physical networking event. And have you ever had it where, and I have, by the way, so that's how I learned how to control it, where I start to get a bit nervous, a bit dry mouth, oh God, drinking my coffee. Oh, very nice, thank you. I start to feel my cheeks start to flush, and then I start to think, oh shit, what am I going to say? What if I forget it? What was I going to say? What did they say? Well, they said that. Maybe I should say that. You've been through this before, right? I feel quite sure if you've been to a networking event or anything like that, where you had to stand up and present yourself in some way that was going to be impactful, i.e. you were either going to get a client, you were going to get respect, you were going to get thrown out, you could be accepted, whatever it is. And you know what I realized? And this is my gift to you this Future Focus Friday, is if you're too focused on the future, you won't be focused on the now. So although I talk about focusing on the future, there are times you have to focus and be in the moment. And so the best way to get over this yourself is to focus on what other people are saying and not on yourself at all. Like, it's an art, by the way, because to start with, you'll be like, oh no. And then when it comes to you, don't practice, don't rehearse, open your mouth and just start speaking. And then I tell you what, you'll be amazed what comes out. Practice it, practice it. And the reason I know you can do this is when you think about this, when you go anywhere else, I don't know, you go to the pub, remember those days? You go to the pub and you go out with friends, you don't practice what you're going to say. You don't think, oh, how am I going to come across? You might do. You just show up as you. And you're the one they like. You're the one they connect with because they understand what it's like. And even if you just said, oh God, I don't know what to say, they would all connect with that too. So try it. And so my trick, it's not even a trick, I just don't think about it. And I know if I start to think about it, I start to feel a bit nervous. I'm like, oh, why are you thinking about it? Let's not think about it. Because you have to believe, go and do my believability module in the academy if you haven't. You've got to believe you're going to say the right thing. You've got to believe you know who you, I mean, let's be honest, you know your name, you know what you do, you know who you are, you possibly know who you do it for. What else? What do you need to rehearse? I find it fascinating. Some of you like to be really planned and organized, I get that, but it doesn't come across the same. Think about when you listen to someone who is reading, you just think, God, they're just reading that. Don't they know what they do? It doesn't come across as authoritative. It doesn't come across as legit. It doesn't come across as real. We don't feel it. Like the ums and ahs. No one expects you, unless you're a speaker trainer, no one expects perfection from you. No one expects you to have the delivery of an actual, the enunciation of a public speaker. No one expects you to have a fantastic sales pitch as if you're selling from the stage. There's a lot of pressure that you're putting on yourself in that time. Just be you, show up, and be nice, be authentic. Just speak and trust that what comes out of your mouth is because you know who you are, you know what you do, you know who you do it for. And I think somewhere along the line we got taught we had to have really snazzy strap lines. I know we had to close with this, and we had to have so if you're interested in, no one speaks like that anymore. It's very 90s, it's very 2000s, it's definitely not 2022. So that's a gift to you. That's a gift to you. Imagine being in front of your ideal clients, 3 of them, maybe people that you get on well with, that you're having a nice chilled conversation. Just imagine you're just having a conversation. It's not about a presentation. It's not about a call to action. It's not about any of those things. It's just about getting your message across and sounding like a real person, an authentic person. And if you do that, people will start to come towards you. People will like you. We never want the finished version of anything. And none of us are the finished version anyway. And even if we were to ourselves, we wouldn't be to someone else. So the whole thing is just a mess in our minds, isn't it? Anyway, I hope that's helped you. If you need any help with that, you know where I am. And I look forward to helping you with your future by keeping you in the now.